Welcome to the Free Culture Sports Show. I am rocking a new mic today, so hopefully we don't get too much background noise. I tested on Skype and just had all sorts of terrible, I don't know if it was just Skype background noise or if it was like actual background noise, but hopefully it's okay. I should have turned off this other computer, but I didn't because the fan is going. But regardless, it'll be louder to like turn off and everything. So we'll see how this goes. If people will have, suggestions as far as like I can get closer to the mic and stuff like that. It might be kind of down here. I'd have to move the camera a little bit. But anyway, I'll go with this. So we haven't mentioned this in a while, but we are on Patreon. It's patreon.com/FCSS. So we have a ton of things to talk about per usual. I have somewhere to be at 11 just down the road. So we won't be able to talk for too awfully long. But you had a coaching clinic on Tuesday. I was just sort of curious how that went, and also you had a camp last week that you held. So it's, if you want to say a little bit about those, and I'm curious. So,
well, the convention is what the North Carolina high school coaches all have to go to. I mean, they don't have to go to it, but the point is in the afternoon there's like a rules session to go over new rules or new adaptations of rules and important dates. And you don't have to go, but you have to go to one around the state before your season. So a lot of coaches just go to the one at Greensboro. Makes it nice and easy during the summer. In the morning not in the morning for all the sports, because I think it's different for schedule for each sports. But for the soccer one, the past 2 years, they've had a college coach come in and kind of talk about different training exercises or different ways to do different things. This time we had the coach from William Peace University come in and talk about a few things. Very, very educational experience. I talked with the coach from Shelby High School afterwards, and he said as many times as he's done this, he can't ever remember maybe once where he was disappointed with the college coach or whoever did it that morning. So it's always a good experience, and it's a good learning tool. Some things I'll take away from that. That's probably the biggest thing for me from what I got to see. Then you have the rules thing in the afternoon. And then at night, they have the East-West All-Star game where there was a male player from Chase playing. Omar Jimenez was playing for the West All-Stars. The girls' game was first. I watched the girls' game kind of to see what the All-Star females of the state would look like, and then watched the first half as for the game. Going on, but this is what happened. The difference in pace between the girls' game and the guys' game was absolutely just astounding. Incredible. Girls' game, it's like, oh, okay, this is high school soccer, and then the guys' game start, and there's some good players. One guy going to App, and another guy there was this forward for the West team. I can't remember his name right now, but man, he is something special. But that was that. Camp last week was good. It was nice and hot. We had a coach from Haiti come in, didn't speak any English, well, hardly any English, but we had a translator. The boys' coach is also from Haiti, and he could translate for him. So that was fun and interesting to see the types of things that he implemented with his players. Just an overall learning experience the past 2 weeks, basically.
So I don't know. I'm just going to run through a couple of these things and see, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. So Tevez is back in Argentina. Pirlo is in the MLS. I didn't really think Pirlo to the MLS was going to happen, but it did. And Drogba apparently is likely on his way. I mean, I guess I have to start believing these things now. I don't know. And he does come up from a francophone country, so going to Montreal to Quebec would seem like a decent fit. Not that he didn't spend plenty of time in England, but Chicago is the other team that appears to be interested in Drogba. So this is not something you necessarily have to answer now, but I want to put it out to the listeners. So we have in Cincinnati an NPSL team, the National Premier Soccer League. There's 65 teams across the country. I don't know how many there are in the NASL and in the USL, but the NPSL is quite large. They have, I believe, 6 divisions. Might be more than that. No, there's more than 6 divisions. There's four conferences. I think East, West, South, and North, or something like that. But anyway, there's 4 conferences and then some divisions in there. And there's teams in Rock Hill and in Spartanburg. I don't know if you even knew that those teams existed.
I think I did, because I stumbled upon this the other day because I was looking at where they were at, just teams in different tiers of the U.S. pyramid. And I think I stumbled upon this one because I was looking to see what the professional teams in North Carolina were, and saw that the only one on here that's from North Carolina is the Railhawks U23s. The others are in South Carolina. So I think I saw it, but it may have been another list.
Yeah. So plenty of Gold Cup things to talk about because there were the last night games and the weekend games. So I don't know how much we want to talk about this. Jurgen Klinsmann made some, hindsight is 20/20, but some pretty stupid decisions. The thing I don't understand, okay, first of all, I didn't say the score. Jamaica won. They beat the U.S. 2-1. Why wait until the 78th minute to bring Yedlin on? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you don't start with Yedlin. You think, okay, you have, defensive midfielders. You just slow the pace down, keep Jamaica from having the ball. I kind of understand the idea, but it obviously wasn't working. The 2 first half goals that were given up should have suggested that. So why wait until the 78th minute? I don't understand.
I don't know. I was kind of surprised that he wasn't starting, not because of pace or anything. I was just surprised he wasn't starting. To bring him on at that point, halftime is when some adjustments should have been made. Maybe he wanted to see how the players reacted, but
they did score a goal in the 48th minute. So I thought, okay, they're going to come back and win this. They got their head straight, and then I don't know.
I don't know. I'm confused by that. I don't know if he's 100% fit. I don't know if there's been issues with him not gelling with the teammates.
But he was in the World Cup squad. It's not like he's new.
Problems
could have started then, I guess. But
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe he just thought the team that he put out there was better the way it was. But when you go down 2-0, you've got to make some adjustments, and I just don't know how many adjustments were made. I watched the second half and some of the first half. I saw the first goal from Jamaica. Apparently, John Brooks was just awful, is what I've been seeing. I don't know if you saw it or saw anything about it.
I saw the match ratings. I thought Brooks got a better rating than it's not Ventura, the other center back who plays in Mexico.
Well, I'm looking Alvarado.
Yeah.
Well, the one I'm looking at gave Alvarado a 5 and John Brooks a 2.
MLS gave him John Brooks a better rating than that, but I don't remember what it was. So, I will find out.
I don't know. I think he was supposed to be marking the person who scored on the first goal and on the second goal.
Well, so are you talking about Alvarado or Brooks?
No, Brooks.
Well, see, MLS says that Alvarado was the one caught ball watching on the Maddox goal.
I don't know. like I said, I have to go back and see it. I wasn't really paying too much attention
I mean, it's
at who was
possible
doing
they both were watching. so,
Well, I don't know. I'd have to go back and see it. I know it flicked on or was poorly headed out by somebody, and then it's one of those where it wasn't the first person to the ball. It took a deflection, and then the Jamaican guy was wide open to finish it. I mean, you've got to stay with your man no matter, if the ball's still in the box, you still are marking your guy. I don't understand. So maybe one of them was bad at clearing the ball and the other one was supposed to be watching him. I'm not sure. Maybe they were zone marking and he ran through their zones and neither one picked him up. I don't know, but I don't know. I thought the defense was better than to make silly mistakes like that, but I don't know.
Well, Omar Gonzalez was the one that always got hammered by people for bar watching in the past, so he wasn't playing. And you should wear this. I'm adjusting this if you're watching the video. I'm going to wear it like a cape so it don't shine so much.
The other thing was Zardes. He just didn't look good. He seemed to play some bad balls, make some bad passes, some bad decisions. Never got a good shot. Really got a good shot off. I thought maybe at halftime you bring him off and somehow get Yedlin on then because he just didn't seem to have it. I don't know if Bedoya can play on the left side, can play on the right side or not. He seems to be a left-sided player, and Yedlin's a left-sided player. So I don't know if we could have switched one to the right side to play for Zardes or not, but that would have been interesting to see. I honestly did not know that Alan Gordon was on the U.S. men's national team until he came in.
So I think you might have misspoke there because Yedlin is a right back / right midfielder, not a left player.
Was Zardes?
Zardes plays on the left.
Okay, then why does it say that Bedoya was lively down the left? I'm confused. It says, well, Yedlin didn't play right back, so wherever you saw that was wrong anyway because he played the midfield.
No, he is a right back. I don't know where he played last night. He might have played goalkeeper last night for all I know.
I think he played right. He played right midfielder.
Yeah, Jurgen likes to put him at right midfield sometimes.
So, okay, let's say I had that completely backwards. You need to put Bedoya on the left, take Zardes off, and Yedlin on the right, and that would have fixed the second half. But I honestly think it comes down to the forward situation still isn't settled, and without the door gone, we really need to clear that up. I know Dempsey's been scoring, but I thought Johansson was decent, showed a lot of hustle. He just needs to work on his finished product, I think. Gordon had a good chance, but I think the couple of chances I saw him have were like pretty much straight at the goalkeeper. So I don't. I feel like we have to, and we've been saying this for years, is get a forward that can actually work in this team.
Yeah, I mean, Altidore does a good job holding the ball up, and I mean, he was hurt for the first part of the tournament, and I think that's why they let him.
Yeah,
let him go. I mean, he is somewhat injury prone. That's a problem, and I don't know why, some of the guys that have played, people have talked about, like Terrence Boyd. He was, a lot of people thought he should have gone to the World Cup. Where was he? So,
yeah.
I don't know if he just had a falling out with Clemson or what. I didn't put this in the notes, but I was just sort of wondering, how much leeway does Klinsmann have? I mean, I think you don't get fired just for losing Jamaica, but if he loses the playoff, which I think is in October, although I don't know that that's been officially announced, but it seems to be suggested that it's going to be in October during the FIFA date then. I mean, if he loses that, his seat has to be getting hot at that point, at the very least.
But yeah, I mean, you would think so. I mean, he. How have they performed in tournaments under him is one thing. I mean, he's got some quality friendly wins. Then he's got some friendly losses as well. So, I mean,
they won the last Gold Cup. They lost this one. Okay, so, I mean, and then the World Cup was, I mean, he was a Chris Wondolowski brain far away from going to the last 8. So,
yeah.
I think, anything other than losing all 3 of the group stage games, he would have been fine coming out of that group. I mean, a lot of people didn't think we were going to get out of that group, and we got out. And then Belgium, like I said, we should have won, basically. So, people continue to be bemused by his choices, which is, so there's a lot of people who, just had never forgiven him for leaving Landon Donovan off the team last year, for example.
I think he's got this grandmaster plan for the future. And it seems, it had seemed, and it still seems that it is working to some extent. I mean, some of the play that I see is in the midfield, at least, and the build-up play is really good. What can he do if nobody that can even put on a U.S. jersey can finish? I mean, you can be the best coach in the world, but if you've got absolutely nobody who can finish the ball, you can't score, and then you're going to look bad. What can you do if you don't have a center back who can't actually play? I mean, and not be caught ball watching. I mean, you can train and you can tell them don't ball watch, but if they keep doing it, they keep doing it. When the players play bad or keep making mistakes, and you look at who could possibly replace them, and you think, oh, there's nobody, then is that the fault of the coach? I don't really think so. So I don't think he should be in too hot water yet until the play just starts looking pretty bad. And it hasn't really looked bad yet.
But the thing is there are guys who aren't getting a shot. I mean, Matt Hedges finally got a shot, and who played at Carolina for a year, by the way. Played Butler before that. He has one appearance for the national team in February. He's 6'4", as far as defenders go. A lot of people think he should be getting more of a shot. I mean, Perry Kitchen is another one that a lot of people are calling out for to take over the Beckerman role. And part of that is Beckerman is just old. He's sell-by date was basically the last World Cup. He played well in the World Cup, and then he's done, basically. But there are people out there, and they're just not really getting a shot. I mean, okay, technically Hedges was brought into camp. He got 18 minutes out against Panama in February. And I'm not a Matt Hedges fan in particular. I mean, but it just seems like the idea that there are other guys, that there aren't other people out there seems ludicrous to me. I mean, there's tons of people that can do it, and they're just not getting really a shot. I mean, and some of that is just because, you want to build a team, and I get that, but, and maybe Omar Gonzalez, we got tired of him, so we want to try another center back pairing. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, Hedges is 25, but if you want him to get into the cycle for the next World Cup, I mean, you got to start getting them games now, if you want to bet him in there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what sort of team comes out in the playoff. And there are, I think, some friendly dates before then. I think there's one in September. So, who did they end up getting in those times as well? I don't know. But, again, on the forward front, where was Bobby Wood for the Gold Cup? He had that amazing goal against Germany. And yes.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised at Gordon coming on I'm not surprised Johansson was starting, but I was surprised that Gordon came on. He didn't look bad, but hadn't really seen him finish anything for the men's national team. So why not put somebody on who's had success wearing the jersey? I do question a lot of it. So I'm in the same boat with you, but I would play. I feel like I would play differently than what Klinsmann does. So it's hard for me to say what he's doing, but it does seem like there's people who aren't getting a chance. But at what point does player A look tremendously great in practice and continually makes a mistake every third or fourth game that cost you? When do you take him out and try player B who doesn't look nearly as good in practice, but you got to give him a chance in a game? When do you make those types of decisions is what he's got to be thinking about to give some of these guys a chance. And the friendly games are the times to do that. But he also, I think, you want to win your friendly game, so you also don't want to be cautious on who do I put out there. So it's a tough. I'm not going to give him any breaks or anything, but it's got to be a tough job.
Yeah, I don't understand why the friendly matches count into the FIFA rankings.
I don't either.
That to me doesn't make any sense. Or maybe they should make some, but they seem to play way too big of a role.
And what are the FIFA rankings really? They might.
Well, they're used for seeding for the World Cup.
Yeah.
For one. And I think they're used for seeding for the Gold Cup and probably the Euros and stuff like that as well. So, sadly, the friendlies are actually important.
Yeah, and I understand because you want to have good games and you want the games to mean something, but reduce what they actually mean for the FIFA rankings would be nice to see.
So I also just wanted to mention briefly the UEFA Champions League. I actually have my Celtic scarf on in part because of they're in the Champions League qualifying, but I didn't put their stuff in the show notes here. But I watched some of the Malmo game against whatever Zalgiris. I obviously tried, but I'm not really going to try to pronounce the Latvian name. It was 0-0 at Swedbank Stadium, which is a stadium that I have been in. It wasn't called Swedbank Stadium at the time, I think, because of the whole UEFA sponsorship thing. But which is actually, a thing for Malmo's next opponent, which is Red Bull Salzburg. I was trying to make that all one word somehow.
Red Bull Salzburg. It's hard.
Well, I was trying to make it like Saul's Bulls or something. I don't even know. That was somehow what was coming out of my mouth. I don't know. But anyway, I think this is probably Malmo's the end of the run. They brought in some new players, but they sold a lot of talent after that Champions League run last year. I don't think they've come anywhere close to replacing it. Some of the guys, they have a good pedigree. One of the guys came through the Manchester United Academy, but United let him go for a reason. And I realize very much so that the Allsvenskan is a step down from the Premier League. But in the Champions League, I'm just not seeing it with these guys. Nobody has impressed me. The guy who scored the goal in Latvia was Rosenberg, who played for West Brom for a while. who's team captain and basically led them through to that run. I don't know how you go from like being an also ran on a West Brom to leading a team into the group stages of the Champions League. Now, granted, they had some good games and some bad games in the once they got into the group stage, but still, I mean, he really rose to the occasion. Maybe it's because he wasn't the focal point at West Brom, and he really needs to be the focal point. But whatever, he's making it happen for them. So you said they have a different crest for the Champions League?
Yeah, they have to wear a modified crest. I just saw it. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but it says due to sponsorship restrictions, the club is known as FC Salzburg and wears a modified crest when playing in UEFA competitions. Because their crest says Red Bull Salzburg, and they can't officially be known as that.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they have to, I'm assuming Red Bull is also their sponsor on the front of the jersey.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm aware, that's the way it works for, New York Red Bull. Red Bull New York. I think they finally gave up the ghost on that, and they are now officially the New York Red Bulls, which they were not at first. But I think so many people called them the Red Bulls that they were like, fine, we're Bulls. You're Americans. Just whatever. I don't care anymore. Anything else? We had some stuff in here about LFC and Manchester United and their.
Yeah, but we took enough time.
Yeah, I need to go get dressed. So yeah. We can talk about that on Monday, assuming we still want to do the show on Monday. I mean, we're probably not going to talk about the Gold Cup final. Maybe we'll talk about the third place game. I don't know.
I'll have to see if I can do Monday. Okay. I'm not sure at this point.
Well, we have 2 more shows back this season. I think season 4 might be a little bit different. I sent you a text about that, but we can talk about that some other time and not in air. And then maybe next time we can say what that change is going to be. But for now, this has been the Free Culture Sports Show, and thank you for watching. And I'm stretching this out because I can't find my mouse.